Advance tax. Income Tax Act 1961. Lesson 19. Advance payment of tax. Good morning, everybody. I am T.B. Agrawal, retired income tax officer, speaking from Agrawal Income Tax Tuition Classes, Akola. The course of BCom Part 2, Semester 4 for income tax paper has been completed up to the Unit 4 in the previous video lectures. Today we will take the lesson on advance tax, which is one of the portions of income tax study in Unit 5 for this examination. This is a very interesting subject and also a very important part of the Income Tax Act. It is contained in Part C of Chapter 17 of the Income Tax Act 1961. Section 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, 218 and Section 219 deal with this subject, and for failure to comply with the provisions, interest under Section 234B and Section 234C of the Act will be chargeable. However, in subsection 1 of Section 207, a mention of Sections 208 to 219 is made, though the Sections 212 and Section 213 have been omitted, and the provisions of Section 214, 215, 216 and 217 in this chapter shall not apply in respect of any assessment for assessment year commencing on the first day of April 1989 or any subsequent assessment year. Therefore, in my opinion, some amendment could have been made in this section due to this change. Now, first of all, we will understand the concept of advance tax. In general language, it is known as advance tax, but actually it is advance payment of tax. Now, this you might have understood the meaning of advance tax. We have seen that taxpayer is required to pay income tax on his income when he works out the tax liability himself or when the assessment is completed or determined by the assessing officer and the demand notice under Section 156 is issued by the assessee for the payment of the taxes. Further, it is seen that the income of previous year, that is financial year in which he earns the income, is taxed in the next year, which is called as assessment year. For example, the income earned during the financial year 1/4/20 to 31st March 21, that is in the financial year 2021, the income is taxable in the assessment year 21-22, means in the period of 1/4/21 to 31st March 22, which is assessment year for the previous year or financial year ending on 31st March 21, in which the assessee has earned the income. The income tax therefore has to be paid after the assessment is made, that is after the end of the financial year on 31st March 21, when the assessee files his return of income in the month of July or September of the assessment year. But as per the provisions of Section 2071 of the Act, it is provided that the tax shall be payable in advance during any financial year in accordance with the provisions of Sections 208 to 219 in respect of the total income of the assessee, which would be chargeable to tax for assessment year immediately following that financial year. It means that the tax is to be paid during the financial year itself. It is required to be deposited in the year of earning the income instead of waiting for the assessment year in which the income will be chargeable. Since the tax is to be paid in advance, it is called as advance tax, and the income which will be chargeable in the assessment year will be referred to as current income in this chapter, which will be estimated by the assessee himself, because the assessee would not be able to know the exact income he will earn or he will have before the end of the year, and as such he will have to estimate as what will be his income during this year. Now, how the income can be estimated? For this, incomes from all the sources and deductions allowable therefrom have to be taken into consideration for estimating the current income. Moreover, the assessee can take the base of last year's income, assessed or returned, and make some adjustment, if any, or take into consideration any expected increase or decrease in the income this year and estimate the current income for the purpose of calculating advance tax to be paid on this income. Thus, as per the exact meaning of term advance payment of tax, you must have understood that it is a payment of tax in advance before it becomes due. It is just like a contract we give to carpenter or a builder for some work. We have to give some money in advance to him, and the full payment is made on completion of the work. So here also the assessee has to pay tax on estimated income before the final liability is determined. With the advance money given to the carpenter or the builder, the material is purchased by them for our work without waiting for the final payment to be received from us. In the same manner, the government is also having some amount of money in hand for spending for the welfare and other work of the nation before final assessments are done and payments are received from the taxpayers. Otherwise, the government will not have money in hand for 1 year, and moreover, the income tax returns will be filed by the assessee in the month of July or September of the assessment year, and then the liability will be determined and recovered from the assessees. And it is also not certain that the assessee will pay the demands immediately after assessments are made, and till then the government will have to wait for the revenue to be collected. It is not that the government does not have any other source of revenue than these taxes, and the government is totally dependent upon this collection only. But the collection of these taxes is about 10,000 crores of rupees for a year from income tax and is a big source of revenue. Therefore, this has to be given due attention. So, it is better to have a collection of the dues if taxes are collected in advance. Moreover, it will take a considerable time to realize the taxes on regular assessments. It is also not likely that the assessee will pay the taxes immediately on demand. The assessees or the taxpayers will have to be given some time to make payment of the demands. It is not that as soon as the demand notice is given and the assessee will make the payment. This is not a case of one or two assessees, and for small amounts of tax. There are lakhs of assessees, and taxpayers and taxes payable are also in lakhs and crores of rupees. So the scheme of advance payment of tax is provided in the Act. It is a very nice scheme by which both the assessees and the government are benefited. The benefits of this scheme and how the revenue of the government can be increased will be discussed in the latter part of this lecture. It is also called a scheme of advance payment of tax as pay as you earn. Means advance tax is to be paid along with earning the income in the year itself. This has two benefits. One, by paying taxes partly, we reduce the burden of paying taxes in lump sum at the end of the finalization of the tax liability. And if the tax paid is more than we get, then we get refund of the excess payment with interest on this deposit of the tax, which becomes an asset for us. Means if you have earned income during a part of financial year, then go on paying part of the tax on that income quarterly simultaneously. It is a part payment of tax and has to be paid in installments during the financial year and not at once in lump sum amount. However, as per subsection 2 of section 207, a resident individual who does not have any income chargeable under the head profit and gains of business or profession and is of the age of 60 years or more at any time during the previous year is exempted from payment of advance tax under these provisions. That means the provisions of subsection 1 of section 207 shall not apply to the resident individual who is of the age of 60 years or more and has no income from business or profession during the previous year. But if any senior citizen is carrying on a business or has income from business or profession, then he will be liable to pay advance tax. Now we will see as to what is the condition of liability to pay advance tax. Is the advance tax payable in every case where the tax liability comes to rupees 100 or 1000 rupees or 2000 rupees? In this case, it will be seen that as there is a limit for income which is exempt from tax, that is, exemption limit is rupees 2,50,000 in case of individual below the age of 60 years, and for individuals of the age of more than 60 years but less than 80 years, the limit of exemption of income is 3 lakhs rupees, and for the very senior citizen, that is, who is above the age of 80 years, the exemption limit is rupees 5 lakhs. In the same way, the condition to pay advance tax is laid down in section 208 of the Act. Advance tax is payable during the financial year in every case where the amount of tax payable by the assessee during that year as computed in accordance with the provisions of this chapter is 10,000 rupees or more. This limit is also changeable as per the amendments made in the Finance Act. Formerly, this limit was rupees 5,000 rupees only. However, if there is any tax deducted at source or tax collected at source, then this amount of TDS or TCS will be deducted from the tax calculated as advance tax payable, and then if the balance payable is rupees 10,000 or more, then the assessee will be liable to pay the amount of advance tax in installments as mentioned hereunder. This advance tax is to be paid by assessee himself, or income tax department can also send notice to the assessee for the payment of advance tax under section 210(3). The provisions of advance payment of tax are applicable to all assessees, including salaried employees. Generally, it is presumed that salaried persons are not required to pay advance tax. However, it is not like this. Salaried employees do not pay advance tax because tax on their salary is deducted at source by the employer at the time of payment of the salaries. Therefore, they are not required to pay advance tax. The TDS is also one kind of advance tax paid by them. But however, if the tax payable by any employee exceeds the tax deducted at source and the amount remaining payable is rupees 10,000 or more, then such employee is required to pay advance tax as per the provisions of section 208 of the Act. Otherwise, interest as per law will be charged in such cases. Further, as per the provisions of section 211, the advance tax is to be paid in installments and not at one stroke, and that too by due dates of the financial year. The amount payable and the due date of installment is as under. First, by 15th June, 15% of the amount of advance tax. In the second installment, which is due by 15th September, 30% of the amount of advance tax. In third installment, which is due by 15th September, by 15th December, 30% of the amount of advance tax. And in fourth installment, by 15th March, 25% of the amount of advance tax. We will see example. For example, if the advance tax payable for assessment year 22-23 is rupees 20,000 rupees, then the installments will be payable as under. First installment, 15% of 20,000 rupees, that is 3,000 rupees on or before 15th June 21. Second installment of 30% of 20,000 rupees, that is 6,000 rupees on or before 15th September 21. Then again third installment of 30% of 20,000 rupees, that is 6,000 rupees on or before 15th December 21. And the fourth installment will be 25% of rupees 20,000 rupees, that is 5,000 rupees on or before 15th March 22. Thus, in other words, the payment of advance tax as per the provisions of section 211 should not be less than 15% on or before 15 June. It should not be less than 45% on or before 15 September, and it should not be less than 75% on or before 15 December, and the whole of the balance on or before 15th March of the financial year 21-22. To remember the percentage, we can say that the amount payable should not be less than 15%, 45%, 75% and 100% in the first, second, third and fourth installment respectively. If any capital gains income or income of a casual nature arises to the assessee after 15th March, then the tax on such income will have to be paid by 31st March of the financial year. Sometimes it happens that a sale proceed in respect of house properties or capital assets etc. take place after 15th March but before the end of the financial year. In such cases, the amount of tax is to be deposited on the 31st March. Further, if the assessee is taking the benefit of estimated income scheme under section 44AD or 44ADA of the Act, then whole amount of advance tax is required to be paid by 15th March of the financial year. There are schemes under these sections where an assessee can declare his income at fixed percentage of profit on income or receipts on presumptive basis. This scheme is not discussed here as it is not a part of study here. Thus, we have seen the provisions of payment of advance tax. If the assessee fails to pay the advance tax as required under section 208 discussed above or fails to pay advance tax as per the percentage on due dates prescribed under section 211, then interest will be charged on shortfall and on the amount of deferred payment. The rates at which the interest is charged and rate at which the interest on refund of excess payment of advance tax is given to the assessee will be studied in the next lessons along with the benefits and suggestion in this matter. If you like this video, then please press the thumbs up icon and subscribe the channel, which is free of cost, and press the bell icon next to it to get the notification of my next video. Thanks.